Unfortunately, Assemblyman Gary Finch hasn't yet arrived due to traffic complications, but we expect him to join us in a little bit. I want to welcome everybody today. Today, with 220 recorded RSVPs and 10 to 12 media groups and TV and radio stations, this represents the largest, most significant media event in the history of Tioga Downs. Standing aside from me are 7 to 8 speakers who will eventually say brief comments. Tom Osecki, President and COO of American Racing and Entertainment. New York State Assemblywoman Donna Lopardo, representing the 123rd. New York State Assemblyman Cliff Crouch, who represents the 122nd. New York State Senator Thomas O'Mara, representing the 58th Senate District seat. Next to him is U.S. Congressman Tom Reed, whose district stretches from Jamestown to Owego and includes Corning and Ithaca. And finally, but not least, owner Jeff Gorell. Hey. Before they offer brief comments, I need to thank all those elected officials, governmental agencies, organized labor locals, not-for-profit organizations, and even those individuals who made such a great effort on behalf of the Southern Tier to position Tioga Downs to receive the full gaming license. Without this great community support, this region simply would not have been awarded the 4th gaming license. It's a long list of those I want to mention. I will speak swiftly, and please hold your applause to the end. Those who may be in attendance, I didn't get a chance to say hello to them. From Empire State Development, Robin Elpaw and Kevin McManus from the New York State Workers Fund. The Tioga County individuals who were so essential in us developing a successful RFA includes Chairman Marty Sauerbrei, the village mayor, Leslie Pilot, Sheriff Howard, Leanne Tinney and her economic development team, along with Doug Barton, who played such a key role in helping us stay focused and organized during the process. Barbara Cornell is here representing the town. Between the county and the town of Nichols and the village of Nichols, these host communities are going to benefit greatly by having the license placed in Tioga County, and the region as a whole is going to prosper. Broome County Executive Debbie Preston said she was coming. I know that Jerry Marinich, chairman of the county legislature of Broome, is here. Broome County passed a resolution in our support. The labor locals are here in force. The carpenters, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the laborers local 785, the plumbers and steam fitters from Ithaca, local 267, are represented here today. Clemens Green Liang, our architect, Elke Simonelli, the construction manager, local firms like Algora Construction are here today to help celebrate this beginning. Chemung County was so essential in this regional process, passing resolutions in support of us. Donna Drexler and County Legislator Brian Hyland were involved in great support for Tioga Downs. We're even visited today by 2 Oneida County legislators who know how essential the success of Tioga Downs is to the success of Vernon Downs. And that's why they're here today, to celebrate and support this successful advance. I want to take a moment to specially thank Bill Walsh, who's here today in support of Tioga Downs, and his team and Traditions, who played such a strong role in the first RFA. Guy Howard of the Horsemen's Association, who keeps our racetrack operations going from a harness horseman's industry standpoint, is here to support us. Agencies such as the Finger Lakes Wine Country and SUNY Broome, Dr. Kevin Dr. Kevin Drum is here with his team, and they play such an essential role in helping us develop a curriculum to support the job creation we intend to succeed at. Our great management staff team is here. The Tioga Country Club is represented in force. They too are part of our key business partners in this endeavor. That is the list of people I needed to introduce today. I was just told that Rich David, Mayor of Binghamton, has shown up. Welcome, Rich. The significance of today is that this represents an exciting new chapter in the history of Tioga Downs. The creation of jobs, both direct and indirect, the employment of organized labor for this project, the creation of new revenues for both the state and this community, signifies an important upturn in this region's economy. Construction efforts will begin today. We will progress rapidly, and we will do our best to keep you in the media informed of our progress. Finally, beginning November 6th, we will hold a workforce development summit right here at Tioga Downs to begin the process of planning out how we're going to hire 500 new people to make this enterprise work. It's an exciting challenge, and I'm very grateful. Right now, I'd like to introduce United States Congressman Tom Reed, representing New York's 23rd Congressional District.
Well, thank you, Jay. Thank you, everyone, for coming out this afternoon to celebrate such a great day for Tioga County, for Western New York, and for the entire state of New York. And I just want to tip my hat to Jeff and your entire team here, Jeff. I got to tell you, the investment that you are making here in Tioga County is very much appreciated, but most importantly, to all the men and women that made this $140 million expansion, these 500 jobs that we're going to create right here, a reality. Thank you. Because this truly was a community effort. This truly was a team effort. Both local, state, and federal officials coming together to unite, to say when I watched that press conference about a year ago, and I saw the 1-2 punch from the governor's office to us here in the southern tier, I was devastated. But I was only devastated for a minute. And then when I saw Jeff Corral get up there and show his commitment to our area, I knew better than to stand up myself and join hands with all our partners to say this day will be a reality. We never give up in Western New York. We never surrender. And today we are celebrating a great victory for all the men and women of the southern tier. So thank you for being part of this, and God bless this great organization.
Congressman. I would like now to introduce New York State Senator Thomas O'Mara from just west of here.
Thank you, Jay, and thank you all for being here. I want to thank everybody from our local town and village leaders to our county leaders from the surrounding area of the southern tier to come together and work on a regional basis for such an important project. Most of all, I want to thank Jeff for his perseverance on this. Jeff Corral is a man that came here with a vision of Tioga Downs a decade ago and has done everything and more of what he said he was going to do, what he set out to do. He's truly been an excellent corporate citizen for the surrounding communities, helping out in so many ways, and his continuing commitment as part of this proposal to what will benefit our communities. But to come together with our federal officials, our state officials in the Senate and the Assembly on a bipartisan basis to work to get this project done. I do want to share in that day that Tom Reed mentioned and the devastation of the announcements that came. I almost fell out of my chair when they announced that the Southern Tier Casino was going on the Thruway, which was mind-boggling to me. But I do want to take a moment and thank the governor and the Gaming Commission for revisiting this issue and truly working to cite a true Southern Tier casino. And we wouldn't have been able to do it without all of us coming together, as I have said. We are the Southern Tier, all of us together. We have to work together in this very difficult economic climate we find ourselves in the Southern Tier. This Tioga Downs will continue to be a shining gateway to the Finger Lakes tourism region that we have. This southeast gateway that I pronounced when we first broke ground for this facility. And then at the topping off event for Tioga Downs, and then the ribbon cutting, and then the parking garage, and Jeff has just truly followed through on everything and more, and I am sure that this next phase to the full-blown casino that we will have here is going to be great, greater than it's even proposed right now. 500 jobs coming to this community, the construction jobs that are going to come through this. I thank labor for being here today in force, and your support throughout the whole time. But thank you all to everyone in the Southern Tier. We can do it, we will do it, and it's going to be the best example of a casino in upstate New York that we have to show. And if I know anything about Jeff, we'll be the first one with our doors open for a full-blown casino in upstate New York as well. Thank you all.
Thank you, Senator. I would like now to introduce New York State Assemblywoman Donna Lopardo from the 123rd Assembly District.
Well, hello, Southern Tier. This is really the end of a long journey and certainly the beginning of a brand new one. From our being in the legislature and passing that resolution twice, bringing it out to the voters, and then that long, long saga began, where we saw the map. None of us for a moment thought that a casino would be chosen up in that little strip. But we persevered, and then to learn that we had been defeated and come back to this moment, it shows me the can-do spirit that this place has. It shows me how important it is for us in a bipartisan way to work together on behalf of this community. It shows me that what we're doing for economic development, developing a regional strategy where someplace like this is important for our entire plan. Tourism, people are traveling up to the Finger Lakes. It's important for our area farmers. I want to give a big shout out to Tioga Downs for supporting our craft beverage industry and our local farmers and our local food vendors and our local people. To put them to work, help them grow food for this place. I cannot be any prouder than being part of this fight, a fight that has had such a wonderful outcome. I want to thank the governor and all my partners in government for persevering and helping believe in this place. I believe in all of you. And I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce friend and former colleague Cliff Crouch, who represents the 122nd Assembly District.
This is a great day in the Southern Tier, and one that we prayed and hoped that would come. I want to thank all of you as supporters, because as an elected official, it made our job easy to just stand up and support this, because it had such broad spectrum support from so many people in the Southern Tier. Towns, counties, all in the Southern Tier. We have a lot of support for this, passed resolutions in support of it, and so it was easy for us to help make it come together and show the Commission that this is broad spectrum support from a lot of people of all styles, all jobs, all lifestyles and everything. So it just was so heartwarming to see the support that came out for this. I want to thank Jeff Corral for his persistence and the fact that he always tries to do everything on a local basis. The unions, you know, the labor, committing to the labor from our area going to work here, and 500 jobs ultimately, that's going to be fantastic. And I just, Jeff, thank you very much for your commitment to the Southern Tier, your interest in doing this, and God bless that we've got that type of a person here, and all of you too. Thank you.
We are fortunate to have now been joined by New York State Assemblyman Gary Finch. Gary represents the 126th District from Auburn, but he does have a tie to Tioga County. He used to represent this district for a period prior to redistricting. Gary?
Thank you, Jay. Jay's a colleague, a former colleague of mine as well. Victory is indeed sweet, there's no question about it. And even once in a while, not all the time, but once in a while, government does get it right. And there's evidence of that right now. And one reason, or maybe multiple reasons, that we got it right this time is because there was such a groundswell of support for this endeavor. The very fact that it sits on the border between New York and Pennsylvania, we're going to get some of that gas money back, and I think that's very important as well. But more importantly than even that, the jobs that follow, that was mentioned earlier, it's the vision and it's the dream of Jeff Gorell that this has happened. Jeff Gorell is probably one of the greatest corporate neighbors we could ever hope for. During the time when we suffered the damage from the floods here, he was walking the streets with me, helping people then. This is a neighborhood concern, even though it's the whole southern tier. His concern, his love for the people down here, and what they're going to do, hiring people for jobs, that's important. Jeff Gorell needs to be thanked immensely for his wonderful work on this and his dream. Thank you very much.
Now I'd like to introduce American Racing and Entertainment President and COO, that includes Tioga Downs and Vernon Downs, Tom Osecki.
Hi, everybody. I always have to fix the mic. Boy, am I glad to be here today. Can't tell you how good it feels to be standing up here at this moment, at this time right now, so thank you, everybody. All right, so everybody in this room, if you were in this room, you most likely had something to do with supporting Tioga Downs and making this a successful day. So turn to the person next to you, look at the person next to you, and give them a high five. Come on, here we go. What a day for the Southern team. Okay. The first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to thank the team members of Tioga Downs. If it wasn't for the folks out there every day working on the front lines, working with our customers, making our customers come back again and again, we wouldn't be in the position we are here. So first of all, I'd like to thank the folks from Tioga Downs, the teammates, the employees, those who make it happen every day. The second thing I'd like to thank are the members of who helped us get through the All In Coalition. I'd like to thank them for all their support. Thank you, All In Coalition. I'd also like to thank our future partners here at Tioga Downs. I'd like to thank HL Spa, who is here right now. They'll be operating the spa in the hotel. I'd like to thank Tioga Downs Country Club. I think they're here right now. They will be our partners in golf. I'd like to thank Virgil's Grill Barbecue. They'll be they'll be our barbecue restaurant. And I would like to thank PJ Parks, who will be our restaurant partner also. So we have a lot of exciting partners we didn't have before. Also like to thank about a dozen people who, since 2013, sat in the conference room and went through Proposition 1 and made Proposition 1 happen. Then they made the first RFA happen. And then they made the second RFA happen, dealing with a lot of very demanding consultants. You know who you are, and thank you very much for that particular group. I also like to thank, I actually wouldn't want to thank, but I want to tell you, if you remember one thing today, one thing when you leave this room is that we will very soon be offering jobs. And we have jobs available, and we will have jobs available. And I think we're supposed to put up on the board that our website, I want to announce right now that our website We'll be collecting people. If you have an interest in a job, go to our website right now, because we're building a database of interested people who would like to come on in now. We put the categories of the jobs that we're going to have available to us. So it starts now, and as Jay mentioned, we're going to put together a team from the workforce groups to help us fill these jobs. We're also putting together vendor fairs, job fairs. You'll see it all coming soon. Most important thing I have to say is we have jobs, we need people to fill those jobs. So I want to make you aware of that. So last year, December 17th, 16 companies came into a room in Albany, and they wanted to find out if they were going to be awarded commercial gaming license. 3 of those companies were awarded the commercial gaming license. 12 accepted the loss. Jeff Burrell did not accept that loss. Kind of the greatest example of tenacity and persistence I've ever seen in my life. Jeff immediately went out and gathered support politically and from the community. But he didn't quit. He didn't let Tioga Downs quit. He didn't let you quit. He didn't let us quit. And so I think today Tioga Downs is reborn as Tioga Downs Casino Resort because of Jeff's personality and his spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Burrell.
Well, you know, I was persistent because I was really pissed. The governor came up to Binghamton and stood in front of a sign that said jobs for the Southern Tier, and they put it up, you know, by Lake Ontario or wherever it happened. So I was pissed and shocked, to be honest. So it wasn't, you know, it was one of those things that it wasn't anything that I would have not fought for, because you just don't do that to people. And, you know, I was just sitting over here thinking back to 10 years ago, and I have a granddaughter who's 21 in college, and she's nervous about life. You know, is she going to marry? What's her job? And I've told her, I said, you know, truthfully, life, there's a lot of luck involved in life. It's not all what you think, you know. And the truth is, originally I tried to buy a racetrack in Kentucky, and I actually signed the agreement, everything was in place, and somehow it fell apart at the last minute. And then I tried to buy the racetrack in Saratoga, the harness track. And papers were drawn, I signed them, and at the last minute, the people who owned it, the guy sold it to his son, so that really pissed me off. You know, because I was wasting my time competing with his son, you know. And out of the blue, I get a call from somebody who said, well, I know you've been looking at racetracks. Would you like to look at Tioga Downs? And I said, Tioga Downs? Where's Tioga Downs? And he said, it's near Binghamton. And I said, oh, gee, my mother's from Binghamton. She would appreciate it if I at least took a ride up there and see you. I haven't been up to Binghamton in God knows how long. And so I came up here with my wife, and I think with my wife, I'm not sure. And but it talked me out of it. And I looked at this place, and if you remember, it was really falling apart. I mean, it was being used as a flea market, I think. It was horrible. Roof had caved in. And I went to check into the Best Western that night. And when I came in, I checked in, I said to the 2 young ladies behind the desk, I said, you know where Tioga Downs is? Yeah, you know, it's down the road. Been abandoned for 20 years. I was thinking of buying it and making it and reopening it as a racetrack with slot machines. Do you think people would come? And they said to me, I'll never forget, they said, well, to tell you the truth, there's nothing to do around here, so I would take a shot. I think they will come. So, sure enough, the next morning I woke up and I went to check out, and there were two different girls, and I asked them the same question, and they gave me the same answer. So that was the due diligence I did on this project. But really, if it wasn't for my mother, I don't think I'd be here. And There's no place on earth I'd rather be than right here in Tioga County. People have been wonderful to see how what's happened. Because when I was visiting, I was a kid, so Endicott Johnson was a big deal, and all the other manufacturing. Binghamton was a great place. You know, it was bustling. My grandfather had a window cleaning business, and you know, coming back here, I don't think I had been back to Binghamton. I don't know how long, maybe 20, 30 years, to see how the factories have all closed and IBM had moved out. And my mother said she knew Watts in the mill. I like Rod Sterling she went to school with. I was very good. So, and her friends were really mostly from Binghamton, but I don't know why, but they eventually moved to Florida, so sorry. And, you know, so just luck that the deal in Lexington didn't come through and the deal in Saratoga didn't come through, and that this is the one that came through. And to be honest, I'm so much happier here than I would be in either of the other two places, because the people here really appreciate it. We have a great workforce, and it's important for this facility to get built and create the jobs. I have a beautiful home, 10 minutes from here, and we spend a lot of time in the area. I really love it. I thank my wife. I don't know if she's here, but she said she's here. When we first started coming here, I only owned 20%. We had a casino company as a partner and a bunch of other partners, and when we opened, we were losing a fortune. And over time, all my partners bailed out, and I was left. So we used to come and not really, we'd stay in bed and breakfast, and I figured I'd come once a month, no big deal. And then it became obvious that there was no one left to run it but me. And I told my wife, I said, well, build a small little place. So we don't have to go to this bed and breakfast and pack a suitcase all the time. And fortunately, my wife did not listen to me and built a really beautiful farm. And I really look forward to coming out there. I just look forward to it. It's wonderful. And one person that's not here today, but really should be here is Tom Livis. Nobody did more to help. He was the first politician I met up here, and the first person that I asked if he could help, because we needed legislation, we needed a whole bunch of things. And he said, you know, you're not the first person who's promised to reopen Tioga Downs. I don't want to be embarrassed. There were other people, and we had ribbon cuttings, and nothing ever could happen. I said, I promise you, if we can get legislation that makes sense, I'll definitely open it. And Tom and I have had a great relationship. Unfortunately, his health has taken a bad turn, and the rest, we all know how unfairly he's been treated by Mr. Bahara, who's a jerk, to tell you the truth. But yeah, because Tom, he's a good guy, and he's honest, and he's just a good guy. And I have to thank the governor, really. If it wasn't that he was willing to reopen this bidding, and I know that he really wanted to keep his hands off it, but I know that, and I asked Livis, I said, well, how did you talk him into it? He said it was easy. I showed him a map, and he realized that they put casinos every place but where it was promised to some of these years. So I want to thank the governor for his decision, because without that, we would be nowhere. This the Gaming Commission had no intention of reopening it, and actually, at the end, I got friendly with the site selection people, and I think that they, ended up making the right decision, obviously, but they did their best, and so here we are, and all the people who work for me, all the staff, it's all of you, it really made a difference when they saw how much pressure was coming from people living here and how disappointed everybody was when they told us no fracking in the morning and no casino in the afternoon. So it's really been a team effort. I really wouldn't be here if we didn't have so many customers, to tell you the truth. People have supported us from the get-go, and I've had competitors of mine not that I'm in the casino business, but I've had people say to me, boy, I can't believe you made a success out of Tioga Downs. We looked at it, and we never thought it would be successful. So I think one of the reasons it's successful is because maybe people do appreciate that you give back. So it's a good business strategy, and it's worked. I went to my first high school football game under the lights Friday night in Tioga, and so how wonderful that was for the community. So we've stepped up and helped that. And part of this whole thing is really designed to really help the community. Besides the jobs that we have here, one thing that I put into the bid was that we were going to give $1 million a year to local nonprofits and $500,000 to startups and small businesses. So for me, this whole project is designed to give a boost to the second tier. I got to get my son up here because one of the questions they asked, well, what happens if something happens to you? So I said nicely, well, to tell you the truth, my son loves casino gambling, so I'll talk him into coming up here. Once we get the casino up, and we'll have the next generation to keep this going, because I don't have any intention of selling it anytime soon. And as someone mentioned, this really solidifies Vernon, because Vernon is a real struggle. And once Lago opens, it's only going to be worse. And this way, between the two, the same company owns both, so it really guarantees that Vernon will be there for the long. I guess the next, and one last thing, I just saw Kyle Tuttle, who's our contractor, and I have no idea how long it's going to take us to get a license, but I told him that he should go full speed ahead on building this place. So we're going full speed ahead, regardless of whether, when we get the license. I'm not going to wait around. So you'll see, hopefully, if the weather holds out. When we built this place, we had the mildest winter ever. So maybe our luck will come back and everybody can benefit along with us. We have a little mild winter, we're certainly hoping to. So we're going full speed ahead on that part of the project. Hotel, we'll probably wait to get a license. But as far as everything on this side, the casino expansion, the Virgil's restaurant, it's going to be a great project. I think people will really love what we're going to build there. I'm really looking forward to the opening day. And subsequently having the hotel, the golf course, working with all the partners, the wine country, Corning Glass, NASCAR. It's a great community, and there's no place else that I would rather be standing today than right here. So thank you very much.
I'm gonna have your ride over here next. Better tell us when to do it. 3, 2, 1, shovel. 1, 2, 3. Yay!